Hospital porters, pride and dignity. Stop the New World Order. Welcome to HPANWO TV. I'm at Oxford Station. It's a lovely day today. And I'm off on another adventure. I'm actually going to tour another area, another location, another place. I'm not going so far this time. I'm going to Leamington Spa, which is actually not far from here. It's, well, it's a few, about 40 minutes on the train, 50 miles or so. Here we go. Now, I don't know much about this place. I have actually been there maybe once or twice, a long time ago. Not to look at the place in any detail. So, now I think that's the next one. 1339. That can't be the next one. Oh no. I'll get the next one I can. I know I'm on the right platform. But I don't know much about this place, except like I said, it's quite. I remember thinking it was quite charming. It's quite sort of oldie sort of place. The name is interesting. Spa. A spa, of course, is a place where people go for healing and rejuvenation and fitness, health. It's a place where people travel to that place, you know. That's why Bath Spa is called Bath Spa, because the Roman baths there were a kind of spa. They were used for healing. So that's what hopefully I'm going to find out more about. Now, I'm lucky actually, because someone has volunteered to be my tour guide, the same way Lily Brunton did in York. And so this is a person who'll be showing me around, who knows a little bit about the local area. So without them, it'll be a bit tricky. I wouldn't really know what to do. Anyway, here we go. Just wait for the next train. I hope that's not the next one. I hope there's another one between now and then. Anyway, I'm on the right platform. There's a train sitting there looking on and ominous. I'm driving. Looks nice. Yeah. There's those seats on the train, so I'm just going to relax. I'm not bloody standing. I made it. It's a lovely evening. As you can see, the train was a bit late. It's supposed to go 14:14. They couldn't get one of the doors shut. Oh, I can't remember the last time I went on a railway journey where everything went according to plan. As you saw, the train was overcrowded. The train was overcrowded. I had to lie on the floor. I was on a stand. But I'm in this lovely traditional station with lots of old-fashioned stuff, you see. That's nice. And now I'm going to go to meet my tour guide. And as you can see, this is actually called Royal Leamington Spa. I don't know how I got the name Royal. There you go. I'll find out, I guess. I expect my tour guide will explain everything. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, HPANWO TV viewers, I'm here. I've made it to Royal Leamington Spa, and here's Stewart.
Hello.
Stuart is a long-time viewer of mine. I've known him for a long time online, but we finally met, which is really, really cool. So,
fantastic, brilliant.
So it's really great to be here in Royal Leamington Spa. Yeah. So it's great to see.
Thank you very much. That's brilliant.
I'll just show you. Stuart's just taken us through sort of slightly modern area, and we've now come through this park, which is really nice. It's got this river here. Why is it called Royal Leamington Spa, Stewart?
Victoria, Queen Victoria. She named it, apparently. It was half Turkish. She really liked it, so
right.
They named it Royal Leamington.
That's nice. As you can see, people are stripping off. I'm not completely stripping off, but it's really warm now. It's really lovely.
That's beautiful.
I was just thinking,
this is the Bandstand Park. We've got many parks. I'll take you to Jefferson Gardens later.
Oh, thanks,
That's
mate.
lovely. That's a lot of Freemason stuff in there, which you don't get here.
Oh, right.
But you'll know it straight away.
Like the symbolism and stuff, yeah.
Oh, I won't need to point it out to you, I'm sure.
Oh, I expect, yes. I'm very... Yeah, I've been to various other places, such as York, Milton Keynes, London, looking for this kind of thing, yeah. But, oh, yeah, it's excellent, man. It's excellent. Yeah. And the spa side, I mean, a spa is a place where people go to for healing and invigoration and health and things like that.
Pump rooms over there. They
pump
closed
rooms.
that down, obviously. They called it the pump rooms, but the council have functions in there.
All right.
I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist.
Oh, God forbid.
But they've stopped all that now. You're not allowed in there. Unless you...
Oh, dear. Yeah, no, we don't want to sound like one of those, do we?
No. I think the original idea was to help people, but of course they stopped that a couple of hundred years.
Oh, of course, yeah. But it's a lovely little area, a small but very attractive park.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And there's like a red brick church over there. So
yeah, that's lovely. All of it. Leamington Spa is a nice place.
yeah,
Just, you've got that feel about it, and the people are lovely. I say I'm originally from Coventry, which it's like a different planet, to be honest.
yeah. I've been to Coventry. It's not exactly the most attractive place in the world, I must say.
I mean, most people there are decent, but obviously you get that element there of rumours of people. But it's suddenly got worse and worse. But this has stayed the same. It's always been on a keel where it is a nice place. Very nice place, Leamington Spa.
I have been here briefly, and I went to. I recognise this kind of architecture, these white houses and things.
Yeah.
I recognise that style, which is associated with this town. And
When you get on the parade, there's a colour code the council have. It has to be a certain colour. So when they redecorate, it has to be a certain colour, which is good, I think.
Yeah, it preserves the atmosphere of the place. Yeah. Oh, excellent. Right now, I need a pint, man. I'm thirsty.
Yeah, so-
Are we heading for? We're heading for a Wetherspoons. Yeah. First things first. When you arrive at a new place,
Yeah, of course, you need a pint.
where's well,
Do you want to
where,
go the long way, or do you want to go the short
oh,
way?
the short way, please.
Short way, short way.
Yeah. First things first. What's the most urgent piece of information you need? Where's the nearest Wetherspoons?
Yeah.
Colin Wolford, you know what I'm talking about, don't you, mate? Just. Okay, so objective number one of our mission has been achieved. We have found the Wetherspoons. This is the Benjamin Satchwell Royal Leamington Spa. And it gives an old picture here. It's a bit of old history here. Okay. Well, everybody, I'm outside the toilet in the Benjamin Satchwell Wetherspoons, and believe it or not, it's the first one I've been into where you don't have to climb 3 flights of stairs to get there. It's on the ground floor. We're going up this hill. There's this lovely slope, and it leads up to this skyline. It reminds me a bit of Las Vegas. It's really nice. Well, it's Las Vegas is not nice, but this place is, and because the architecture is really homely, and you've got these white buildings. Stewart and I have just come out the Spoons, and we're going to go and take a little stroll to see someone. We're actually going to visit the birthplace of someone who is very famous, or should I say, infamous. Hi, Stewart. Well, where are we now?
Well, we've got the parade that way, which is Tesco's. And we've got the other side of the parade there. I mean, it's very nice. This is the best way to go.
Right, yeah.
Because
But we have looked at this is also a little region tobacco and cigar stores.
not so commercial.
Yeah, but this is obviously that is what it used to be, not what it is now. But they've kept the original sign up, which is just for old time's sake, which is really cool. I really like that. And we have here, this is new mod, but you see, obviously these buildings they predate the modern establishments that are here. Yeah, but it's really nice. It's it has got nice energy, this place. And you were telling me that you sort of kind of became attached to this place because you come from Coventry, you say. Tell us a bit more about that.
Well, I moved in with somebody years ago, like 30 years ago, a woman that I met, and I'd always lived in Coventry, but Leamington has just got a vibe. Even after we'd split up, I moved back here, and I've always loved it. It's lovely.
It does have a good energy, I must say. I've only been here.
Lovely place.
I've not spent much time here. This is the longest I've ever spent in this place.
You've got this crap, obviously.
Oh, it's a nice mod. That's very 60s, that building, isn't it?
No, on top.
Ah, yes, I see the mobile phone mast, of course. Yeah.
But, it's such a lovely place. It's very historic. Lovely.
Yeah.
I'll take you to Jefferson Gardens.
Oh, yeah, lovely. I'd love to see that place too, because of course there's going to be the usual Illuminati architecture, I'm sure.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Now this used to be a Woolworths, the famous shop that shut down, and that there looks like an alien of some kind. Someone's drawn an alien on the. I don't know if they're trying to say anything about Woolworths and what caused its demise, but there you go. The place here, it's got fine architecture. What's this? This is called
typical
rustic.
1920s England.
Oh, nice. That's lovely, that, isn't it? That is very art, sort of art deco, isn't it? The Copper Pot, that's a nice name for a pub. And it's, you see, it's actually, in this weather, it's actually really beautiful. I mean, it's like, this street is really nice. It's really picturesque. And that is a Copper Pot, sounds like a great place. And we've got this like little indoor, we've got this bridge of sizes, little indoor bridge going across the street. I've seen, of course, there's a very famous one in Oxford, but I've seen them in Manchester as well. And they're becoming more common, I think. So we're going to head up here now. So this is, where are we now? Is this...
Believe it or not, that's a nightclub. It used to be workshops.
Is it? All right.
So, over 100 people working there. But now it's a nightclub, unfortunately named Smack.
Smack?
Yeah.
A nightclub called Smack?
Yeah, that's not good. It's full of little kids. So.
Oh, good grief. Like it's one of these teeny bopper places.
But look at this behind now, what you've got. Beautiful building.
That's whole Victorian architecture, yeah. That's real red brick. And then look, there's an alien again. The alien is back there as well. Yep. That looks just like the what's it called? The Capone alien. Yeah. That creature that was found in Italy.
And then you've got this there. These flats here were built years ago. They've got so many problems. They're so expensive, but then people always moan about a damp. Well, you can see on the side.
Look at the mould, yes.
Yeah. People always complain. They sign contracts to move in there and rent the place. The owners are like, next victim, let's go.
Obviously, my friend Heidi's watching. She'll be able to sympathise with the mould problem this building has. Yes, definitely. But I can't believe this is a nightclub. It looks sort of semi-derelict.
There's a car park that closed down. It was really handy for Leamington Spa town centre, but God knows what it'll become. I think it'll be houses or flats. It's got to be, because the money men will be behind it. But it was a car park. It's been closed for a couple of years. But I say, it was handy. It was across the road.
Oh yeah, cool.
This is like 3 floors. 1, 2, 3, and it's closed now.
Cool.
It was really cheap, so the other side of it is a car park, and people are always complaining about the prices, you know. So that'll tell you, it's all money.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, that's annoying, isn't it? But I mean, it's handy little car parks in town centres are very valuable. But yeah, this is the.
Years ago it was lovely. You had people. This place here was lovely, really nice building, and now it's a smelly nightclub where you come out at 4 o'clock in the morning.
God, I used to go to places like that when I was younger.
Yeah, I did.
And they're bloody. I mean, I don't see the attraction of them now, to be honest.
Please come this way. I'll show you another place now. It's a really nice building. You've got people living above it, and then underneath you got like some smelly nightclub where people are like, bleh.
Oh dear.
And it's awful, you know?
Yeah, I know, the nightclubs don't appeal to me now.
I get it. Yeah, I'm in my 50s, so I don't do nightclubs anymore.
Oh, I used to do
it. 9 o'clock. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it is a young person's thing, but I mean, I remember coming off night like late shift Friday night.
Yeah.
And if get your uniform off and down to Park End Club, and then you come home with £70 down. Yeah. Smelling of cigarettes. Yeah. Horrible hangover.
Now it's all like
thinking about how embarrassing you were the night before, wondering if you're going to get arrested for what you did, last night. God. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Clarendon Square in Royal Leamington Spa, and we're looking for number 30 because someone a little bit infamous was born there. Okay, guys, we're looking for number 30 now, which is. I'm curious to see if there's a blue plaque. Do you think they put a blue plaque on for this guy? I don't know. It's a very nice little area. This is very this reminds me of London, like inner city London, where you have these like little squares with the gardens in the middle. Yeah. It reminds me of that thing with Hugh Grant and Julia Roberts, that film. Can't remember what it's called. Notting Hill, where they sit in the garden. Yeah. So it's 165, 41.
No.
Oh, we're getting close to...
No, it's...
we're getting close to the place. This is 40.
It's beautiful. Reminds me of West London. I do like...
It is like West London, yeah. You've got these London-style townhouses with the basements and the...
I wouldn't live in London.
Oh, God. I couldn't live in London even if I could afford it.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. This is just like West London here. Yeah.
These used to be houses, not so long ago, 20 years ago. The Gordon Strachan, the ex-Man United player, used to live on the end there.
Oh, right.
He was Covent City manager for a while.
Sorry.
But now, they've all turned into flats. No one can afford to maintain them.
Yeah, I know. It's like these look really expensive. I imagine they're like shared accommodation or flats now.
Yeah, of course.
32. Where's it go from here? 32. Oh, right. Is that it?
There we go.
It's which one's that? Is that 31?
That's 30.
That's 30. Right. Oh, 30 is the one we want. Here we go. Oh, it's for sale. Oh my God, it's for sale. So on the 12th of October 1875, someone was born here. I'll give you a clue. He looks a bit like me and Stewart.
Without the glasses.
We are, of course, talking about Aleister Crowley, the great occultist, and I could make it. I don't have time to go into it now. I could make an entire video about that guy.
Yeah.
I've read 2 books about him. But it says like number 30, Clarendon Gardens, Leamington Spa. He's born here.
I mean, this is the original place. He actually walked down the steps.
Well, he might have been carried.
That front door,
But,
yeah.
I mean, the thing is, like you see, people are maybe born in certain places. It doesn't necessarily mean they have a major connection to where they were born.
Yeah.
So, for example, I was born in Bronglace Hospital, Aberystwyth. I've never been back there. I mean, I was just a baby when we don't know how the circumstances of his birth. Did his parents live here? Were they visiting and his mum went into labour very suddenly? Yeah. Or, was she on holiday? Did she come here just to have the baby just because there was a midwife close by? So we don't know exactly what Crowley's connection to this building was. All we know is he was born here. The day before me, the 12th of October, I was born the 13th of October. Not the same year, in fact, more than 100 years before me, but he was born the day before me. He's a Libra, like me. And you see, it's got this nice... I reckon that door's original, look at it.
It is. Yeah.
It's got, like, look, those brass knobs, that's very Victorian. Yeah. And it has, like, it's got another door down here. Well, this is very Tartarian, isn't it? Look. Yeah. It's got another door down here, so it's got a separate front door down this path. It's got a lovely garden and like a little basement area and these very attractive barriers. You don't get normally a barbed wire and spikes now, but in those days they had proper like wrought. This is cast iron. You see how cleanly it broke there? That's cast iron. So you get these cast iron railings and this portico here. And
beautiful building.
It's a beautiful building. Yes, it reminds me of a wedding cake. Yeah. It has this stucco frontage and stuff like that. And I mean, up there, there's several people over there. They had you can see they've got like tables and chairs set up on the balcony area here, because you could actually set this up as a balcony. Although you have to be careful because these rails are a bit low, but you could actually set these up as kind of balcony areas. So yes. This is the birthplace. This is where the Beast 666 first arrived on Earth to wreak his horrific vengeance against humanity and God.
And it's good to know delivery is still there.
Yeah. Aleister, you need to come pick up this parcel, mate. It's been there for 150 years, mate. Yeah, and it's for sale. Martin & Co. And now, if you want to buy the house of a famous occultist, you know where to go. 01926 899054. Martin & Co. Sellers of purveyors, sellers of occult haunted properties since 1964. Although, I don't think it's personally, Stewart. is this place? I bet this place probably is not haunted. It's probably nothing weird about it.
Of course.
If he was here when he was a little baby, we don't know. Did he live here? I mean,
it's still weird though, because it's connected to him. And let's face it, he was weird.
Very.
So we don't know how long he lived here.
Did he live in the bottom flat or this? Well, obviously these are different flats. So there's like an attic. Which one did he live in? I mean, was it separate?
That's the main address. So
Yeah.
that would have been a house.
Yeah. Was it like?
I think it
maybe
is still a house.
because in those days a lot of these were single residences. They weren't like split into flats.
Yeah.
So maybe it was like a.
And we can tell by that.
Family, yeah.
That's how many.
Yes, there's different flats.
4, 5 flats above. So yeah, this goes way back.
I don't know if we don't. I don't know the exact details of the interior architecture. Where did he actually pop out? I mean, which floor do you think? Which room did he pop out?
I reckon he definitely popped out on the bottom floor.
Oh, it's the basement, isn't it? Yeah. It's got to be the basement.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Where he's closest to hell.
I mean,
Yes.
the top floor.
He's down there. He popped out down there somewhere, I think. Yes. But my guess is it's not like Boleskine House, like and various other places he lived. Like for example, he lived on Buckingham Palace Road, London. I suspect that place actually that place probably does have what's the word? Like occult echoes and haunted stuff and demons and things coming out of the walls. I bet that does, because Boleskine House has that.
No, he's
Boleskine House in Scotland,
baby.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But you know, in Boleskine House, Scotland, that's where he lived when he was older, when he was a grown man. In 1900, he began what's called the Abramelin working, and this is a spell that takes 6 months to perform. And he got a call from his solicitor in Paris saying, "You need to get down here, mate, because the OTO is suing you, because the Ordo Templi Orientis." Ordo Templi Orientis, his old organisation, they'd taken out a lawsuit against him. So he left the Abramelin working half finished, and he went down to Paris. He immediately jumped on a train and went to Paris, which was really very irresponsible of him. And he was like that, though. He was very much a narcissist, and he was very, you know, he was actually quite reckless in what he did.
Yeah, I don't think he was reckless. I think he was an absolute lunatic.
Well, you call it what you like, but I mean, yeah, he was that. But you know, he left the Abramelin working unfinished, which means that this is why I have a Facebook group called Exorcise Boleskine House, because basically there's so many weird things have gone on there you wouldn't believe. Fires, people going crazy, ghosts, spontaneous human combustion. And it's because he opened up a gate to hell and he didn't shut it up. He didn't shut it. He didn't tell the demons to go away and shut the gate. He left it open. And it's still open now. Which is why Boleskine House. So Boleskine House is such a demonic place.
It'd be interesting. I mean, shall I knock the door? Come on, be honest, shall I? Let's knock the door.
Nah, I don't want to.
Come on.
No, I'm not going to.
I'll just try.
What to say? Where's old Al born? Where was he born?
What was it?
Who's living there now, though? I mean,
I've no idea. I mean, it's probably 6 floors.
Yeah, I mean, it could be any of them, you know. I mean,
judging by that.
Yeah, which one do we press? You see, you know, I don't want to bother people.
No, we don't want to bother anyone.
It's not like a commercial.
Bothered, just say no.
It's a home, you know. It's a home. So,
yeah, it's home. But if I press the buzzer, they might say, "Oh no, I'm not interested."
I feel that from a safe distance.
Safe distance.
Yeah.
It's a spell.
No, I'm not. Honestly, I mean, I don't want to sound like I don't want to feel like a wimp here. I mean, I don't want to feel. I don't want to. Stewart's like, I suppose you could say he's got more balls than me, but I don't know. It's because it's somebody's home, I suppose. I don't want to. I don't want to impose on them, you know. I'm just like that. He's trying all the buzzers now. Anyway, does anyone want to chip in and buy this place? We could always chip in and buy the place, couldn't we? All right. He's trying them all. This reminds me of when Colin and I we were in that place in London.
Well, maybe
and we
probably told him not to answer.
Maybe he's still haunted. Maybe he's come down from wherever he is, or come up from wherever he is, and he said, "Don't talk about it." Because I think I heard the voice of Crowley. Do you remember? Oh, did someone speak? Because I heard the voice of Crowley. Do you remember at Binsey Church? Is that all of them?
No.
Oh, blimey.
You're not getting off that lightly.
Dear. I just
Listen, you came here to find him. We're gonna find him.
all right. Ed. Stewart will take full responsibility for this. I don't. I wash my hands of.
We're making a video for YouTube. Did you know that Aleister Crowley used to live here?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Alright, do you want to come out and be interviewed or not? If you don't, fair enough.
Oh my god, I definitely would, but I'm really like that.
That's alright, don't worry about that. I'm in mine as well. Don't worry about that. Come on, come out, seriously.
He's talking to someone inside the house. I don't know.
We'll wait. Thank you. Thank you.
What does she say?
She's coming out.
Oh, blimey.
She's in her pyjamas, but she's coming out, mate. She said, I'm literally in my pyjamas, but she's coming out.
Dear, I'm not gonna... Okay, well, guys, Stewart tried ringing the doorbells. That was not my idea, but Stewart went ahead and he did it. Yeah, fortune favours the bold, and he decided to go and do it. We did speak to a lady who said she was in her pyjamas and would come down. She's in the top flat. We don't know exactly where Crowley was born in this house, but we suspect it was like in the basement here, you know, down in the doldrums closest to hell. But I mean, yeah, they got some parcels here they need to come and collect anyway, so we're kind of doing them a favour, but it looks like we're not going to get in there, because I mean, we are curious to see exactly where he popped out in this building here. But as I said earlier, just because he was born here doesn't mean he has any particular connection to this area. But I think we should retire to the Wetherspoons. What do you reckon? Yeah, we're going to head back, have another beer in the spoons.
Yep.
Let's do it. Okay, it looks like we do have a blue plaque here. They haven't got one for old Al, but they got one here. Charles, was it? Charles Louis Napoleon Bonaparte. Oh, God. Napoleon III, Emperor of the French state here, 1838 to 1839. Right. Which bit, I wonder? In the Tartarian bit? Or higher up, I wonder. I don't know when the whole Tartarian thing ended, but yeah, that's... So, the National Trust are willing to put up a plaque for old Boney.
But not
they're very short.
Barrister.
Exactly, they're very short and they're very short French dictator. But why not the great occultist on the other side of the street? Yeah. It's not fair, is it?
Napoleon was the murderer, but no.
Yeah.
Can't put a plaque up for him, but not for the loony.
It was long before Crowley anyway. Crowley 1875, so it was long before him. But yeah. Napoleon died 2 years earlier. I wonder if he was a reincarnation. I wonder if he hung around in the spirit world for 2 years, and he thought, I'm going to go down and I'm going to pop down and have another go.
Possibly.
And this time I'm going to be born just across the road from where I stayed.
I mean, look at that, isn't that?
Yeah, it is lovely. It's a lovely area. Like you say, it's like West London here.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be born and I'm going to appear at number 30 across the road, which is where we've just been. So that was the birthplace of the beast, ladies and gentlemen. Now I don't know how many of you have ever seen the famous film Gaslight, but I must say that street we've just been in, that square, does remind me very much of the film. Now that film is set in West London. Have you seen Gaslight? Stuart?
Me, no.
Oh, right. Okay. It's worth watching. It's on YouTube. Quite an old film. I think it's 1940 odd, but it's where you get the term gaslighting. Because it's about a woman who's married to a man who tries to drive her crazy by making things...
I have seen it, sorry.
Oh, you have? Yeah.
Yep, and they made a remake of it, didn't they?
Yeah, which wasn't as good.
They remade it, yeah.
Like most remakes, it wasn't as good as the original. But yeah, the husband tries to drive her crazy.
Yeah.
by making her believe she's going crazy, you know, by like lighting the lights and then so the lights go out and she's things like, well, and then he puts the lights out and then he says to her, why did you put those lights out? And she says, I didn't. Yes, you did, because you lit them and now you put them out. And he keeps doing things like this to her, and that's where you get the term gaslighting. It's from that film. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that street, even though it's in a different place, a gaslight set in West London. But as I said, that street's like West London. And you're right, mate.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. And there's the alien again. There's the Leamington Spa alien. Don't celebrate being a dosser. Don't celebrate being a dosser. I don't want to celebrate being a bullseye. The dosser is the ring around the bullseye. Okay, Mr. Alien, if you say so. But yeah, it's that did remind me of that film Gaslight. It's an interesting blend of architecture. You see, we have some quite new buildings here, and some old Victorian ones over there. I'm guessing these are the 1970s. They got that sort of look to them. And of course, also a very 1960s style car park, which is the one we showed you earlier, which is shut. So if you're coming in Leamington Spa, well, you want to park your car, tough shit. Go somewhere and pay the usual fees. And there is a beer garden. Yeah, there's a pub over there, yeah.
That's Green King.
Ah, yes. Green King, those bastards are going cashless.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can tell I've had a few pints, can't you? We're going to have a couple more before I go home, I think. But yeah, it's called... Is this a Green King? K-Toy. No, right.
Catoy.
Catoy.
New bar.
Well, it sounds
Very
like
nice.
Catoy, yeah.
We can go and ask them if you want to make a video.
No, it's all right. It looks a little bit cocktailed in charcuterie. Sounds a little bit yuppie.
Yeah.
Sort of, yeah, definitely. But anyway, we're going to head back to our home base at the Benjamin Salford, or whatever it's called. Satchwell, yes. Our local Weatherspoons. It's been an interesting day, Stewart. Thank you very much for showing me around. Much appreciated, mate. Yeah. And we're having a few drinks now, and then I'm going to have to head off home. It's been a good afternoon here in Leamington Spa. I've really enjoyed it, and yeah, no doubt I'll come back here and we'll do some more exploring at another time. When I got more time, you can maybe show me a bit more, things like that.
You are having one more after that, ain't you?
Oh, is this another one? Oh,
you're having two more after that when you got new mouth.
I'm sure I can manage that, yeah. Oh, brilliant. It's been good fun, yeah. We've been to the birthplace of the beast.
Yeah.
And it's been great, so...
It's been great to be on a HPANWO video at last.
Yeah, good you were.
After God knows how long. Hang on. No, I wouldn't mind having it up live, but yeah, thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Stewart, for being on the HPANWO TV. Much appreciated. Yeah, and I'm just going to have a couple more drinks and I'd head home. Okay, we're heading back to the station now because we've had a really, really good, cool time with Stewart. And there's a great image of the Buddha, and there's that golden face. I mean, this is maybe, if this was in Oxford, this would be one of my Oxford graffiti videos. That's very, very good. I like that. It's very nice. Never saw it on the way up here, but yes, it's a lovely evening. It's very warm, really, really nice. This is an interesting portrait, ladies and gentlemen. We have some planes flying over. That looks like a chemtrail out there, but there's another one here that looks like a jet trail. It's fading. That's definitely a chemtrail though. But these we've got like a Big Brother is watching us thing here, and it's mounted on something that looks like a traditional lamppost base. So that's very strange. Very strange combination of symbols there, I would say, of imagery. Kind of artistic, I suppose, like this garden here, which is very nice. Obviously this style of alien face is kind of like popular with a local artist, because we've just found another one here. There's clearly some local artist who's doing it. It's really amazing. Okay, I'm at Leamington Spa Station again, on my way home. Odd things here. First of all, we have the segregated directions for pedestrian transport, keeping the human herd in line. And this is obviously in a very old staircase with these are ancient barriers, probably. I don't know if they're original, like not Victorian, but they're probably post-Victorian. But look at this. there's this weird lever on here. I don't know what it's for. There's a kind of lever here, very rusty, probably old, very old, on this railing here. So I don't know what that's that for, but I'm keeping to the left. And now, what will happen if I go up the wrong side? Let's just try, shall I? Let's just, here we go. Oh my God, what's going to happen? Bam, 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 bam. Dangerous distance. CCTV's got me. I went up the wrong side of the stairways. What will I get a fine? Will I get a prison? What will happen? What disaster have I created? I don't know. Anyway, my train is in about 11 minutes time, so we'll just wait for that. Unless I get arrested for using the wrong side of the stairs. Okay, leaving Leamington Spa, although I will be back because Stewart has invited me back for a part 2. But I've got a seat, can you believe it? I actually have a seat. That's good. I've enjoyed this lovely town. It's a great old-fashioned town, I've really enjoyed it. Very well preserved. Can't wait to get back here. And Stuart's a good guy, he's really looked after me. He's a fantastic guy. Look forward to collaborating with him again. Okay, now we come to the part of the video which I alluded to earlier on, I think I did anyway, in which I'm going to do a little studio piece here to give you a little bit more background information. Now, you see, I would probably have done more of this probably beforehand and maybe done a bit more commentary on location. But this video started off as a different, it's really weird, but when I started making this video, it was going to be a different kind of video to the one it's turned out to be. It was going to be a bit more general about Leamington Spa. But as always, you know, the Wetherspoons got in the way, as it does. And seeing as I only had like a short time in the town, Stewart and I decided to like just spend a lot of time talking, which is cool. I mean, I've already decided I'm going to go back and do a part 2. That next video, the one that's coming up, will be more like the video I intended to make today. This one's turned into one that's a bit more specialised about Aleister Crowley and what he did and where he was born and more about him. Now, the thing about this particular subject is, first of all, it's not something that should be undertaken lightly. I think I have an awareness that even discussing this particular man and what he did, what he stands for, what he represents, and the power that he has over the world and our culture and our society, it has potential hazards, without going into too much detail, which would take a lot of explanation. I have, before I began this video, I did a minor protection spell. Nothing major, you know, no crystal balls or no incense or anything. I carried out a minor protection spell. Anyone can do this. It's just about positive thinking, etc., etc. And part of that spell actually is that I got this beside me. Oops, here we go. Yeah, part of this spell is I've got this beside me. Don't know if you can see this. This is Robots Rebellion by David Icke. This, believe it or not, it's covered in dust. I've just been wiping the dust off it. This, believe it or not, is an old VHS tape. Whoops, it keeps disappearing. It's an old VHS tape. There's still dust all over it. I don't know if this still works, and I certainly don't have any equipment I can play it on because that's in museums now, isn't it? VHS players are in museums. But I bought this in 1997 or 1998. I can't remember. But this is, I don't know if it's I think I brought another one first. But this is among the first David Icke videos I ever bought. I'll lower that slightly so you can see it. It's among the first that I ever bought, and it's called The Robots Rebellion. It's based on it's a video of a talk he did in Liverpool in 1994. I bought it in 1998. So that's when I first started getting into David Icke. I brought that with me because it gives me a lot of positive energy. Because I think David Icke in my initial phase of being a conspiracy theorist, David Icke was enormously influential on me, and his influence was very positive and uplifting. So I've got that beside me while I record this video. You may notice that behind me, you can see him there. That is old Al. You can see it behind me. That's actually a little clip, a little segment, a little cutout from Peter Blake's famous painting, which was the cover of the Beatles album Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. So, and they actually had Aleister Crowley on there. It was a little bit controversial putting him on there, but they did put him on there. He is an extremely controversial figure. As you saw, there was no blue plaque on the wall of that house where he was born, even though there is one across the street where Napoleon Bonaparte was, where he stayed there just for a short time. He wasn't born there or anything. He's a Frenchman, or Corsican or something. But that was where he was. It was there that he stayed, and as a result, they got this blue plaque there. All right, so I wasn't actually sure even how I was going to make this particular part of the video, or even if I should make it, because the thing about Crowley is he's such a enormously complex. As I said, controversial. People have all kinds of opinions on him. There are so many books written about him, and he's so complex that I don't think this video could possibly do him credit. And if you say, am I a Crowley? Do I think he was a good guy or a bad guy? To be honest, I think he was both at various times in his life. He was both good and bad at various times in his life. But there's absolutely no doubt I would say, as a summary of his character, he meddled in occult forces in a way that I think, despite his own enormous intelligence, I think even I think, couldn't control them, and they were a detriment to his life and many others as well. I'll say that much. Now, I've read 2 books by Crowley. As I said, there's probably about 100 books about Crowley, and there's books, including books he wrote himself, including an autobiography, which is kind of a hagiography, which I've not read. But this is a good book I recommend. It's actually I'd say it's quite, compared to the other one I read, this is quite impartial. This is one of the 2 I read. It's called A Magic Life, a biography of Aleister Crowley by Martin Booth. And it says here, detailed and extensively researched biography, a uniquely unbiased study of one of the, I think I was meant to say 20th century's most charismatic, misinterpreted and controversial figures. A brilliant polymath whose considerable intellect and talent was crushed by his self-destructiveness. That's a good summary, I'd say. So that's a book I would recommend, actually. And as I said, because there's no way this segment of the video can possibly be adequate when it comes to an analysis of Aleister Crowley, I'm afraid I'm just going to be very, very superficial and very, very conventional, and I'm going to go to Wikipedia. So let's read his Wikipedia page. I'll show you a few stills in the meantime. But as you know, he was born on the 12th of October, 1875. He died on the 1st of December, 1947. Yes, just 5 months after Roswell. Yes, I always judge things, before Roswell, after Roswell, kind of things. AR, BR. That's my calendar. But yeah, he died actually in quite. I'll come on to his death later. His death was surprisingly. He was 72 years old, and he was surprisingly. It was a surprisingly mundane departure actually. He was born, as you see, in Royal Leamington Spa, Warwickshire. His parents were a member of the Plymouth Brethren. Now, I'm just going to right-click and look at it. I don't need to show you these pages. Now, I didn't know they still existed. I thought they'd all died out. But apparently they are still a thing, the Plymouth Brethren. The Plymouth Brethren excuse me, I've still got this sore throat. The Plymouth Brethren apparently are still a thing. And Charlie Ward actually claims to have come from the Plymouth Brethren. I mean, is that true or not? I can't find a reference, but I do watch a lot of Charlie's videos, and he does actually mention that he was in the Plymouth Brethren when he was younger. And the Plymouth Brethren, also known as the Assemblies of Brethren, are low church nonconformist Christian movements, and they're kind of like radical nonconformist Protestants, traced back to Dublin in Ireland in the mid to late 1820s. Yeah, that's interesting. And they're really sort of like, I mean, there's a whole page about them here. apparently they are still around today, which I didn't know. I think in the biography, if I remember correctly, it said they'd all died out. It's the last that Crowley's family was one of the last. What's the word? The last generation of Brethren, Plymouth Brethren, and Crowley, of course, rejected this faith. I mean, he didn't get on very well with his mum. His dad died when he was very young. He was only 11 years old when his dad died. His mother was he describes as being pretty horrible, and she called him "you beast." She kept saying "you little beast," as parents sometimes do to their children, you know. But he sort of embraced this, and of course, this may have inspired him to give himself this moniker, this self nickname, the Beast 666. That was his own word for himself. So he rejected his upbringing in the Plymouth Brethren. His family were very wealthy. His father was an engineer, but who also was a part of there was a family fortune involved in it was actually a what's it called? Oh, it was called. What is it? I'm trying to find the name. Yeah, his parents. I can't go through this as it comes. I'll come to it in a minute. But his parents were married at the Kensington Registry Office, November 1874. So they must have got to work straight away on having him. I think he was the oldest. But his wife was called Emily, Crowley's mother. They both actually converted into the Plymouth Brethren, because his dad, Crowley's father, he called him. So I'm jumping around a little bit now, but his full name was Edward Alexander Crowley, and everyone called him Alex or Alec. His father was called Edward Crowley. He died 1887. He just died when Crowley was young. It was called Crowley Alton's Ales. Was the business? It was a brewery, and he had a massive fortune in this. And his mother was called Emily Bertha Bishop. She was born as. Came from Devon and Somerset. And this brewery doesn't exist anymore. But yeah, Crowley's father was born a Quaker and converted. Emily was also Anglican and converted. And they'd spend a lot of time in church, a bit of Bible reading, traveling around preaching and things like that. Crowley had a sister who died in 1880. So he's 5 years old when his baby sister died. I mean, that happened a lot in those days, I suppose. But I know from experience of having a young member of my family die, in this case it was my daughter who was stillborn, these things, they change you forever, I think. They change you forever. My daughter was stillborn in 1994, and it was about then, actually, I first got into conspiracy theories, and I do wonder if she'd lived, would I have become this? I mean, I probably would have become some version of this wide-eyed tinfoil hat-wearing lunatic you see before you, because I know I was reading even before then, even when I was a kid, I was reading books on UFOs and paranormal stuff. Would I become so serious? I don't know. He went to a Christian boarding school in Hastings. I think is in East Sussex, and he loved his dad. And he was 11 years old when his dad died of cancer, and he had a lot of illnesses as well, Crowley, when he was a kid. And he developed his love of mountaineering because he was a great mountain climber too. And he was, I mean, top league. He tried to be some of the first people to climb Everest. He tried to climb Everest. He tried to climb K2, things like this. So he tried to climb all the peaks in the Himalayas, and this became his love of mountain climbing. I remember from the book came from the fact that his doctors used to recommend lots of fresh air in the Scottish countryside and the Scottish mountains and things like that, which is a typical Victorian form of healing, of medication, which actually is pretty good. Fresh air, open air, open, clean water and fresh air, clean countryside, exercise. It does help, actually, yeah. But he went to various other boarding schools. He went to lots of posh schools. Eventually went to Cambridge University. He studied moral sciences, that is what's today called philosophy, in Trinity College, Cambridge. And I mean, I suspect there he was first. I don't know, because no one actually says anything in the book. This is not mentioned in the book I read, but I suspect that was where he may have been recruited as a secret agent, because Trinity very famously is a hotbed of espionage for, in the Cold War, for both sides of the Cold War and before then. This was where the Cambridge spies, Philby Blunt, Burgess MacLean, they were recruited at Trinity. I suspect both sides, all intelligence agencies from across the world were recruiting at Trinity in those days. And I think, you see, a man of his means, a man who travelled as much as he did, when he was that, because he did, in an age where few people travel. People didn't travel as much as I did now. Crowley did. People in those days didn't travel very much. It was quite normal in those days never to go abroad. Most people never even went abroad. Some people never even, people who lived in inland would never see the sea. He went around the world several times and lived in other countries many, many times. He also became a chess master as well. God, this was nothing this guy can't do. That's what polymath means. Someone who knows a lot about everything, or knows a lot, or know all. Yeah, I suppose that would be pantomath, wouldn't it, rather than polymath? But I'm nitpicking. Polymath means someone who knows a lot. Pantomath means someone who knows everything. But there's a very famous scene described in the Martin Booth book where he was shagging a prostitute. I mean, he would, when he rebelled against his Christian upbringing, which was very, very abstinent. No drinking, no smoking, no masturbation, no sex till your marriage, and then only for the purposes of procreation, missionary position. That's why it's called the missionary position, because they said you can only have sex that way. Presumably God made a mistake when he was working on reproduction. But yeah, he was so obsessive. He was obsessively promiscuous, this guy. His whole life, he was obsessed. He used to shag around like nobody's business. He smoked heavily, drank a lot, he masturbated, took drugs. He caught various venereal diseases, gonorrhea, syphilis, all kinds of things. He was bisexual as well. He had sex with lots of men as well. I imagine if he'd lived a few decades later, he would have been killed by the 1980s AIDS epidemic, because he made no attempt at contraception, none. He probably has descendants in the world today. He probably has millions of descendants. If you look at it in terms of pyramid numbers, we're talking like four or five generations. I wouldn't be surprised if he had 1 million descendants in the world that no one knows anything about. Yeah, but I'll never forget that. Yeah. In 1896, he had a mystical experience, and this led to him founding his religion of Thelema. I mean, he joined lots of other groups before then, but he for example, in 1898, he joined the Golden Dawn, which is a very hermetic, the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. Now, does that still exist? Because I went to their headquarters in Weston-super-Mare when I was with Sophie the Porter's poet. Yeah, it was a secret society, right? It doesn't exist anymore. It had lots of internal splits, and in fact, Crowley got caught up in these. But he joined several organisations, occult organisations. He fell out with a lot of these people because he wasn't really a team player, as they say in management. He was actually very narcissistic, I would say. Very narcissistic. He's founded a couple of his own organisations as well as the Thelema. This is the interesting thing. Now I put some details in the description box where you can find out more about this. But he lived in London for a while. He lived on Buckingham Palace Road, and I don't know exactly where that flat is. It is mentioned somewhere in the book. I've lost my own copy of the book. I can't find it anywhere. But I bet you he describes like having a mirror, and he would summon creatures that came through the mirror. And knowing Crowley, I bet that flat is still haunted. because somewhere else he lived is because he bought Boleskine House most famously. And again, go to the links in the description box where there's some background to that. He bought Boleskine House on the shore of Loch Ness, where he performed the Abramelin working. This is a very, very powerful spell. One of the most high-risk, powerful spells you can do. And he called himself the Laird of Boleskine. He really went native in terms of Scottish stuff. Even though he himself was not Scottish, he developed a love of Scotland, and he used to act like a Scotsman. And he used to wear like a kilt and things like that. He called himself Laird of Boleskine. He wrote a lot of poetry there too. A lot of his poetry is like very graphic, erotic, libertine stuff, about the various women and men he knew, and about having sex with them and stuff like that. He wrote lots of. He self-published a lot of his work as well. I mean, he was very much a vanity publisher. He used to pay publishers to publish his stuff. Now, in 1900, something happened. Now, this is mentioned in the Martin Booth book. It's actually not mentioned here on the Wikipedia page, from which I have read, and once I gave it a brief reading. If I read it more, as I said, it's a bit tedious going through Wikipedia in detail, so I haven't gone to all the links. However, on his main Wikipedia page, this is not mentioned. But in 1900, he received a telegram from his lawyer in Paris saying, the OTO, the Ordo Templi Orientis, this is another group that he joined, they're suing you. You need to get your ass to Paris right now because you're being sued. OTO is British based, so this is probably some form of litigious tourism, because they probably suing him in France because the laws are easier there or something. People do that. There's like libel tourism and stuff like that. And so he had to drop everything. He didn't have to, but he did drop everything he was doing. He got on the first train out of Scotland and headed for Paris to speak to his solicitor. But he left the Abramelin working unfinished. And again, I can't go into too much detail about this. I discussed it with Kev Baker on the old Kev Baker show, and so I think some of the recordings might survive. About half the shows I did with Kev Baker have survived before Kev sadly passed away. But when you're doing these spells, you've got to be careful. This is one of the reasons I keep things like this with me. I mean, it really is a serious thing. The occult and meddling with the occult is something I'm not saying don't do it, but you need to know what you're doing. You need to take a bit of precaution. This is why I've done my protection spell, my very brief protection spell, and I've done this. Doing a protection spell is very easy. In fact, like positive magic, white magic, protection, it's easy to do. But it's black magic that's difficult to do. That takes a lot of a lot of incantations and potions and things like that. The way to do a protection spell, for example, the one I've used, is just to imagine myself surrounded by a circle with a high fence and maybe some security guards and things like that. Just picture yourself surrounded by this high fence, so you're safe. It's like you're in a secure compound, and there's like soldiers marching up and down, barbed wire on the top, that kind of thing. That's a good way of. That's the one I've used. I mean, there's many others you can use. And if you think to yourself, well, I never have anything to do with the occult. The occult is irrelevant to me. Really? Have you ever blown out your birthday candles and said, make a wish? Or watched your child blow out his or her birthday candles and say, make a wish? Have you ever crossed your fingers when you buy a national lottery ticket? Because if you do that, you are doing something occult. It's a very minor example of an occult practice, but it is an occult practice. So that's what I've done, and I've got this beside me. The Abramelin working. I mean, a lot of these spells that Crowley did from a very young age, because he could learn things very quickly because of his intelligence, and so he was actually quite young when he did it. He was only like 26, 27 when he did this spell at Boleskine House. But his ability. I think his abilities outstripped his responsibility. his sense of responsibility. I would say he was, as Stewart, I used the word reckless to describe him. Stewart said that's the wrong word, but I think Stewart and I understood what we were talking about there. Um, Crowley, by leaving the spell half finished, he essentially, if you can imagine the gateway to the spirit world where the beings live, the beings you conjure up to do things for you. This is what this spell is about. You conjure up these dark dukes, as they're called, and they will do things for you and give you power of various kinds. And many people describe these as demons. I don't know if that's the right word for them, but Crowley uses the term dark dukes. By leaving, what you do when these creatures, these dark dukes, have done what you need them to do, these occult spiritual beings, you give them license to depart, which means you ask them to leave this world, go back to where they came from, and you shut the door behind them, the spiritual door behind them, and that's the end of the spell. Crowley left that door wide open. He left the dukes wandering around Boleskine House thinking, where's he gone now? Oh, I like this place. I think I'll stay here. I think I'll stay here and wreak havoc. And indeed they did. I mean, I can show you the... I can show you the... I mean, you can go to the links in the description box, but Boleskine House burns again. Boleskine House fire. And there's so many. There's Kev Baker. Maybe this one is it's number 29. Kev Baker number 29. Is it still there? Let's have a look. Is the recording still there? No, it's gone. That's sad. I might have a copy on. Go to my Kev Baker archive. It might be there somewhere. I don't have time to look that up now, but you go to my Kev Baker archive. So I'm just going to do a little bit of a side here. Where is it? Oh, bloody hell. Here we are. I'm looking for the right keywords. Here we are, KBS archive. It might be somewhere on here on this archive.org page. I'm afraid you're going to have to go here and look for yourself. But it might be somewhere on this page. I mean, if you go to HPANWO Voice and put in Kev Baker to the search, I've got notices for all of them there. I've got notices for all the Kev Baker things. But I'll just show you. Okay. Boleskine House fire. Boleskine House sold. Exorcised Boleskine House. You can find these on HPANWO Voice. But basically, ever since Crowley lived there, up 125 years ago, that place has never been the same. Now, the Boleskine House was built like a couple hundred years earlier. It belongs to the clan MacLeod, I believe. But since when Crowley moved in, all hell broke loose, and I mean literally. and everyone who's lived there since has experienced problems. I mean, the people among them is a guy who's actually quite happy to be there because it's a guy called Jimmy Page, the rock star, who actually bought up a lot of Crowley's old books and had an entire Aleister Crowley library because he was a big Thelемist. He was like a big supporter and follower of Crowley's religion. And he lived there for a while. And he sold it on to someone else. People who lived there report things like very extreme haunting experiences. Some British gas engineers were working in there in the 1990s, and they ran out screaming, and one of them apparently killed himself. I mean, it's and of course there's been the fires. And Kev Baker actually went there, and he said, you see the same thing you see with spontaneous human combustion. Half a room will be completely burned, and the other half you'll have like beds and curtains and chairs, and they will be untouched. Yeah, it's pretty extreme. He got married, had some kids. He went mountaineering. He went around the world several times, and then he developed his thelema. And he took this thelema is really complicated. Actually, it's a very complicated belief system which he developed, and it was based on he called himself. He actually said at one point, future historians will say that I gave birth to the 20th century, and whether that's true or not, you can maybe work out for yourself, because I don't know if that's true or not. But this thelema said it was based on this idea of the Eon of Horus, which he said would begin. It would begin in the year 1904, and when he came up with this idea, this was the future. But he said in the year 1904, the Eon of Horus would begin. And he went to Egypt and he did some meditation in the Great Pyramid and things like that. And yeah, it was pretty heavy stuff. I don't have time to go into detail now. But I mean, it's so complicated. I can't really discuss it. I don't think I can't really discuss it here. You would need a dozen videos and read loads and loads of books to become a Crowley expert, I'd say, which I don't have. But I know the abbey. He founded the Abbey of Thelema. This is in 1920. He went to Italy and he set up this commune in Cefalù, Sicily. And the abbey is quite infamous, actually. It was a house in Cefalù where he created this ritual center where a number of his people came to live, including his various male and female partners, their children. Then I don't think I can even describe what went on there, but it involved various sex magic. It involved the use of all kinds of drugs. And this is an environment where there were children. I mean, I don't really think I could even discuss it on YouTube. I don't think I even want to discuss it. But it is described in detail in Martin Booth's book. Some famous people went there. Leah Hersig, who was a famous artist, an American woman who was a famous artist, she went and lived there. Now, say what you like about Mussolini, how he was a fascist dictator and all sorts of things like that, but he expelled Crowley from Italy. He kicked him out, and he shut down the abbey. Now, the abbey's still there. Let me show you some photos of it. And people who, if you dare, some people do dare, go and visit it. There's some YouTube videos of people going to visit it, and you can see like all kinds of pictures of it here. You can Google these yourself. There are some. That's actually some contemporary photos taken of Crowley and his acolytes at the altar there. That was taken at the time he was there. These modern pictures are. Some of these murals were actually drawn by Crowley. They're still there. And you'd think someone would come along and wash these off, and they would even demolish the place, but they don't dare, because they're very superstitious. They're very devout Christians, and they're scared to go near the place. And no one in the local area will risk knocking the place down. And you can bet your bottom dollar this place is totally and utterly haunted, but all kinds of scary, very frightening entities, I would say. And you want to find it, it's on Google Earth. Here it is on Google Earth. Go to Cefalù, Sicily. This is the island of Sicily. Let me just. Yeah, I've got it on file share. That's good. I've got it on picture share. It's actually, you go to Abbey of Thelema and it's there. It's actually labelled here. You can actually find it on Google. Now, the thing to do is go to Cefalù, look for a football ground here. If the search doesn't work, there's this football stadium here, and it is here, Resti di Villas, and here it is. That is the Abbey of Thelema. Now, if you want to go to street, I'll just have a look and see how close I can get to it in terms of street. Or you get right up to it. See, there's the football ground over there. And it's in very, very poor state. I mean, no one's lived there for, like I said, over 100 years. And I don't know how close I think it may be. Don't know if you can actually see it through these trees. Oh, there it is. There it is. So it's in a very poor state of maintenance. It's totally derelict, but it's still there. No one will dare demolish it. So if you want to go and visit it when you're on holiday in Italy, go there. Go to Cefalù and visit it. But do beware. Go there at your own risk. And he's a hugely influential person. People compared him to other prominent occult figures: George Gurdjieff, P.D. Ouspensky. Ian R. Crane talks about these people. Rudolf Steiner, Helena Blavatsky. He's been described as a living embodiment of Oswald Spengler's Faustian man. Oh, Morgoth will like that. And there are Thelemists The OT in the world today, it says in 1969, the OTO was reactivated in California. In 1985, its right to the title was unsuccessfully challenged in court by a rival group. So there are several people who claim to be the Ordo Templi Orientis's what's the forebears, or descendants, in other words, spiritual descendants. Lots of people claim to be Crowley's children, but to be honest, judging by his sexual habits, I can well believe them. Of course, a lot of people they probably need DNA tests to be certain, yeah. But he's also been compared to L. Ron Hubbard, founder of Scientology, and Crowley certainly influenced Hubbard through Jack Parsons. Thomas Sheridan has done a really good documentary about Jack Parsons. Others have credited Crowley for their own beliefs, such as Anton LaVey and Michael Aquino. Michael Aquino was interviewed by Miles Johnston, if you remember. Now, this is interesting because I watched the film The Devil Rides Out. Yeah, which is a really, really good. It's a really, really good. I've got the book as well somewhere, so I'm not read yet. But it's a really good film. And what's the name of the actor? I've forgotten his name now. Charles Gray. Yeah, Charles Gray's the name of the actor. I remember watching that film and thinking, this McCarter, the leader of the occult group in the film, it's about what it's about. It's a Duke de Richelieu thriller, and it's a really good film. You can get it. You can get it on. I don't know if it's on YouTube. It used to be. It's certainly on Vimeo and Dailymotion or somewhere like that. There's a character called McCarter who's the leader of this black magic group that the heroes infiltrate, and he is actually the. I wonder where is that book? Have I got it here? No. But I thought at the time that man reminds me of Crowley, and I said that man reminds me of Crowley, you know. And yeah, I don't know if the film and agrees with me, but I'll ask him the next chance I get. But you know, yeah, I think, and it turns out that he actually is the inspiration. Dennis Wheatley used him as the as the influence for that character. Yeah. Yes. All kinds of people. Led Zeppelin, as I said, Jimmy Page was really into it, and of course, there's things like backmasking on some of the Led Zeppelin tracks, and there's some of the lyrics actually inspired by Crowley. This is interesting because David Bowie made a song called "Let's Dance," which I know very well, and I know the song, you know, "Let's dance, put on your red shoes and dance." It's a really good song. It says here, David Bowie makes fleeting reference in the lyrics of two songs, "Quicksand" 1971 and "Let's Dance" 1983. And this paraphrases a 1923 poem, "The Lyric of Love to Leah." Leah being Leah Herzig, I suppose, this artist who lived with him in Sicily. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the lyrics now. I've listened to the song many times. I can't think of anything particularly spooky in the lyrics of that song. You know, but Bowie was into a lot of like alien stuff. He was interested in UFOs. Of course, Bowie, he had an alter ego, Ziggy Stardust, which he was an alien, which appears in various songs and this rock opera he worked on. And of course, he also, in his brief and sort of rather brief and not very substantial acting career, one of his most telling performances was in the film The Man Who Fell to Earth, where he plays this alien, the man who fell to Earth, which he does very well. It's a very good film, actually. So there's all kinds of other things here. Now, I cannot, as I said, I can't really go into any more detail because as I said, it's so complex and so difficult to understand, and requires so much study to learn about Aleister Crowley and his beliefs. And if I talk in too much detail about these various things, I'll only make mistakes. So I've just given you a brief overview of this. You can go and learn more for yourself. And perhaps when I go back to Leamington Spa and Stewart and I go on another adventure, obviously I want to go back and study more things about that town, but we may be able to find out more details about Aleister Crowley and his life. But I thought I would put in a little bit of background into this video now, seeing as I didn't do so on location. Well, what a day that was. How much I've learned, how much I've seen. My mind's blown. Yes, and I think I'm going to have a little bit of a hangover later, but it's all part of the fun, isn't it? It's all part of the fun, so great stuff. I'm going back soon to Royal Leamington Spa to discover some more, so there will be a sequel to this particular video very soon. In the meantime, thanks very much to Stewart for showing me around, and thanks to all you guys for watching. Hospital Porters, Pride and Dignity, stop the New World Order.